G'day. You ever gotten yourself a new old stock gasket for your vintage engine repair? Gone to fit it, only to find that that gasket no longer fits the component? Well, that's what I've got here. This gasket is around 50 years old. It's been in a packet on a shelf for that long. I've purchased it, gone to fit it, and unfortunately it's shrunk. It no longer fits. Don't think you've wasted your money, because that gasket is still perfectly usable. And I'm going to show you how. And you'll be able to reuse these gaskets, no trouble at all. So stay tuned, watch this, and welcome back to the Comma Depot. So what I've done is I've taken my component here, which is the top of a diesel engine cover, and I've added bolts through so that they look like studs basically, so that we can line up the gasket, and I can show you how this gasket doesn't fit and what we're going to do to make it fit. So I'll just bring you a bit closer and then you can really see how badly this gasket fits. If we line up this gasket, you'll see that it doesn't fit anymore. You can get through that one and that one, but then here we are here. This one's not fitting. It's good 5 mil away from the hole. That one gets a bit more. That one's okay. That one's 5 mil. That one up here, about an 8mm gap there away from the hole. So there's no way this gasket's going to fit. Even back here in this corner, where I try to fit the gasket now I've got the others in, I'm pulling that, and you're going to risk tearing the gasket and ruining it. So this little tip I've got for you will save you, you know, time cutting out a gasket out of paper, making your own, or using splodgy RTV everywhere. This way you get to use the original gasket and get the job done properly. So, a few things we need. I'll tell you about that. Okay, a couple of things you're going to need. One is a bowl, dish, pan, whatever you've got that you can soak your gasket in, just has to be clean. I nicked this one from my wife's kitchen and hopefully she doesn't notice. When she finds it in the garden later on, covered in oil and dirt, I'll just blame the kids. Anyway, also, I wanted to grab a kettle. I want some warm water, not boiling, but pretty hot. So I found this old kettle in the back shed. These things were the Grim Reaper of kettles and were used throughout the 50s, 60s, right up until the 1980s here in Australia. And yeah, if these things didn't electrocute you, they tipped boiling water all over you, your dog, your kids. They were a bit of a shocker, quite literally. Anyway, I don't know why I've held on for it so long, but if it's dangerous, it's got to be kind of cool, right? So we'll use it today anyway with these gaskets. Now, put the gasket in there, put some water in, and let it soak for a bit. Okay, so we've got our casserole dish ready. We can place our gasket in there, which is, as you can see, is way too big for this bowl, but that's fine. As long as we don't put creases in the gasket will be fine. Now we just let this water get warm. We don't want it boiling, just warm. That way not only does the paper help to take it up, the heat help the paper to take it up, I should say. It's nice and warm on the fingies while we're pushing it in there. So let's just give that a minute for the kettle to heat the water. I think that's enough. That's getting pretty hot. Let's turn that off. Unplug the suicide lead and put it over there. Now pour some of that warm water. Let's pour it all in. We'll give it a good bath. Now we want something just to hold it under, and in my pocket here I've got a couple of spanners. They'll do perfect. Like I said, when the wife finds this dish outside a bit manky, we just blame it on the kids. Falls upon our ability. Okay, let's leave this for a couple of hours. Come back then, and I'll show you what the next step is. Been a couple of hours. Let's take it out and hang it up to dry. been in there for about 2 hours. Right, that's the washing hung out. Well, our gasket's been hanging on the line for maybe an hour or two. Still a little bit moist. Important thing is not to leave it there for too long. Once it dries right out, if you leave it on a hot day, it's quite a warm day here in Aussie land. If you leave it too long, it can shrink back and go the other way. So we'll see if it fits now. Take it off the line. I'll bring you over a bit closer so you can see, and we'll see if she fits. Right then, let's see if we've had success here. Let's get it round the right way. That all looks good. Got a bit of a twist in it here. I've got to try and get out. There we go. That's looking great. Now that the gasket is still just ever so slightly damp, which is fine. That's not going to hurt it. I've been doing this for years and I've never really had a problem. They've always worked. And once they're sandwiched in there, they're not moving. Okie dokie. As you can see, that gasket now fits perfectly. And this component's ready to go back on the engine. Well, there we have it. That old gasket now fits perfectly and this component can be fitted. I hope this tip helps you guys out. Subscribe to this channel. We have more of this sort of thing coming. Next week, we're going to look at a 1953 jack crane that's still in use today in 2023. Thanks so much for watching, and remember to subscribe. Thanks a lot, guys. Take care. See you next time.